Always something nice to take from those daily vulnerables, you know?
I mean, sometimes people find out that their lives are passing them by.
Yeah.
And they don't have a lot of control, especially when you have bills to pay. And, so it's not that simple
Of course.
to just say, don't take that job, take this job.
So it does really just depend on your perspective. I mentioned to someone, that I was on the Third Mainland Bridge for at least an hour and a half, give or take, every day. And that was driving me crazy. And I know there were people that were doing 3-4 hours on that bridge a day, or on the roads, at least in Lagos a day. And it was, it's kind of refreshing for people to get rest, actual rest. Now, people are at home actually resting. So a lot of the time we take leave, and then you're hustling, do your leave?
You're not resting. And it's, so it took, the number of people I've spoken to, and they said that it took them a few days to adjust to not doing anything. Because, because especially if you live in a city like Lagos, you're always on the move, you're always active, your brain is always working, you're always trying to get something done, go out there and get it done. But now that there's a lockdown, you're then forced to be more introspective, confront yourself. If you're married, confront your husband or confront your wife. Making sure that you're in your own space and just getting in touch with yourself once again.
Speaking of confrontations, there was a spike in the U.S. I'm not sure. I don't have any stats about Nigeria. About divorce lawyers getting a lot of phone calls. People actually were basically just acting like roommates. They go out to work, come back, and then the remaining few hours that you're awake before you go to bed, you manage the space with this partner, and then you're going to be out in the morning anyway, so it's like, I'll manage. But now, everybody's at home 24/7. It's like you're in each other's faces. And it's just giving a lot of revelations to some people. But then again, on the flip side, it's also really helping a lot of people to bond, understand how important family is. A lot of people are calling family members they've not called in a long time.
Yeah.
I know you've probably done that.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, yesterday I even had a Zoom meeting with a few family members.
Oh, wow.
And we're talking about, a number of things that there's a project that we're on in Abuja. So we had a discussion about that with pictures and stuff. So that really, this is the time to do all of this and reconnect. And we're talking about how business processes and businesses will be transformed by this, meaning that I'm sure there's a lot of companies who are going to say, maybe on Fridays, everybody work from home.
Yeah.
So that's going to begin to happen. And once you say everybody work from home on Fridays, it means that at 8 a.m. we're going to have a Zoom meeting, maybe for 30 minutes or an hour. Yeah. And then after the 8 a.m. meeting, everybody goes with their tasks.
Their things done. Yeah.
Come back at 11 after you've gotten your tasks done. So once you have tasks staggered all through the day till 5 p.m., really, especially if your job is based on doing stuff on the computer or whatever it is, really you don't need to go into work. So probably 1 or 2 days, companies should start experimenting even after the lockdown is lifted.
And when you think about it, especially in a place like Nigeria where people pay for diesel to run generators for those same staff to be in the office, they're going to be cutting down on costs of fuel for gen. They're going to be cutting down on costs on electricity because all the computers will be off, all the ACs will be off, stuff like that. And generally speaking, there are just a lot of things people never thought about. So I'm still concerned, though, about that social bond that we've always had. I said on Monday with Mary that I feel like Africans, people around the world have been very affectionate, and we didn't realize how affectionate we actually were. Now, the fact that you can't give someone a hug, the fact that you can't pat someone on the shoulder, the fact that you can't shake someone's hand actually feels like we're losing something, losing a part of us. And I also feel like there's a lot of love to give, and there's like almost nowhere to direct that so energy
you direct that energy online or whatever. I mean, so sure? There are a lot of people who I do realize that there are a lot of people who live alone and who might find out that they're lonely and maybe they don't have people to reach out to and stuff like that. So maybe this is also a time, like if you know people who live alone, to reach out to them, find out how they're doing, check up on them and stuff like that. I'm sure really, this is the time that people will really appreciate things like this.
someone told me yesterday that there's some people that are going to come out with master's degrees by the time this, lockdown internationally is over, because people are taking courses that they always wanted to take. People are thinking of, adjusting their mindset about careers. People are learning, reading, watching. They've had bookshelves of books that they never got to read, and now they're reading them. So people are going to be more knowledgeable, going to be more forward-thinking, and by the time we gotta get out of this, of which we will by God's grace, we're gonna be a lot better for it.
Yeah, so yesterday and also on Monday, we talked about the incidences of the spike in crime, especially within communities over the past few days, different locations reporting crime, Ikorodu, Abule Egba, Agege, even Ogba and a number of other places that would have been relatively quiet and crime-free, especially at night. But we've had spiking cases. And of course, the police, the Lagos State Governor responded, and the police as well. Ogun State Governor also responded as well, and the police have been deployed. And we're talking about the fact that this period, youths can also get restive. And when people get restless like that, they want to move around. Just because they don't have anything to do, they just want to go out and do something, and let me take a trip, so we're talking to people to be careful.
True.
So that you're not, and when you go around, go with an ID card, even in your area.
Especially in your area.
Even in your area, if you're walking on the road, make sure that you have an ID card on you, so that when you're stopped by either police or vigilante, you can identify yourself. Not a situation where you're then mistaken for a criminal because you can't identify yourself. Where's your ID card? Who are you? That kind of a thing.